and the only two people on the range was myself and Tiger Woods. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh my word.
This is
So
real.
you're on the way to Carnoustie, you're logoed up, you got a bit of money in your back pocket.
Brand new BM.
Brand new BM. You got a new Scotty Cameron putter. You got a nice Wilson tour bag. Like, life is good at this point.
Yeah, it's good again.
Tell us about the week.
Well, the day after I actually qualified, I went back to work and I had a 10-hour day teaching. So it was really bizarre. Like, obviously got in the Open and everyone's like, oh, did you get on? Well, I won. Well, what are you doing here? Like, you should be practicing. So I actually went back to full-time work after that. And then with a bit of notice, I could cancel a few lessons. And I actually went up to the Open on was it the Saturday? I think I drove up on the Saturday and then went for first practice round on the Sunday.
Because is that the first day you can go and do a practice round?
Yeah, well, I just thought, like, I'll give myself a good chance of getting in here, like, doing well. So I went straight back to my playing days. Like, I need to prep, I need to practice, I need to do this, I need to do that. And I actually went up and went to the golf course on the Sunday, and the only two people on the range was myself and Tiger Woods. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh my word.
This is real.
What?
Yeah, and there's a picture of me, like, face on.
Can we get that? We're going to get that picture and put it in the podcast group and on the second channel.
And in the background, Tiger's hitting balls. And I was just like, this is surreal now.
That is ridiculous.
And were you like, not only at that, but I mean, were you nervous then on the range hitting balls with Tiger?
Yes. Yes and no. Like,
is it like nervous excitement?
I was just trying to take it all in, and I just thought I'm going to enjoy every moment here of, like, being here. It might only ever happen once. So just trying to take every moment in, just making sure I looked around and actually looked at things around me.
Sorry, James. I'm getting excited. Just two quick questions.
Go on.
Firstly, realistically now, what were your expectations, or did you have any at all?
I felt like I could easily like make the cut.
Yeah.
That was my goal, basically. Try and make the cut, try and earn some good money, pay a chunk of my mortgage off, and then see what happens.
Get back to coaching
And
on
then-
Monday.
Go back to golf.
And then second
Coaching.
question, and this isn't something I thought of until you just said Tiger Woods. Obviously, there's you on the range and Tiger Woods.
Yep.
Like, you've got the most famous golfer of all time and a guy that, you know, being honest, most people wouldn't have known of in yourself. But how did you get treated then in the whole... Were you treated as if you were... with that badge, you know, the Open badge and everything, and obviously being a player, do you still get treated as if you almost were Tiger Woods by the staff and by everybody at the golf course? Did you feel like you really were somebody and stuff for that week?
I mean, the staff obviously don't treat you as well as Tiger would be, because he's got 6 people walking around with him. But yeah, the staff were really good, and it was just surreal, really, like walking into that clubhouse, and I had to sign a flag and sign a few like bits of art when we checked in, and it was just surreal, really.
Did you always look for Tiger's signature and try and put your name
put
as
it next
close?
to it,
like Tiger's signature's here and everyone else's names around it, and nothing's up here.
arrows pointing at his. I can't remember searching for it.
But also, like, things like, how did you know what to do when you got on site? Like, was it clear enough as a player? Did you ever get stopped as well as a not like someone? Yeah, security
Players
going,
only.
Yeah, did that ever happen?
No.
I suppose
from
because
the
actually
moment you turn up,
really.
I mean, you get sent like documentation so you can get into the car park, and once you're in there, it's just a case of going into the clubhouse. You get your clip, and you couldn't get anywhere without badges and clips. So it was surreal, really, turning up that day.
But I suppose because you look the part.
Oh,
like
yeah,
a Formula One driver.
All brand new Galvin Green clothing.
All brand new clothing, tour bag, caddy. You just walk wherever you went.
You just look like everybody else, really.
But then how do you know how to get like to the driving range and to get the ball? Like, did when you go to the driving range, do they say what balls would you like, Mr. Robinson?
What balls would you like? What exact balls do you
That's
like?
class.
And yeah, I mean, your caddy does a lot of that, and you just got directed everywhere. It was just buggies from the clubhouse to the range, from the clubhouse to the chipping green, things like that.
Because again, this is a world I feel like I know, but I also don't know at all. Like, I feel like I obviously know how it all operates, and I've been to many, many tour events, and as I worked that week at Carnoustie, so I was more behind the scenes than I've ever been before, but I still don't understand how things happen from a player's perspective.
Well, that's one thing James has conveniently not mentioned yet. He's mentioned the X5, he's mentioned being on the range of Tiger Woods and having the signing the stuff. He's not mentioned the interview with Rick Shiels that he got done on the golf course.
Well, that was quite a big moment.
That's when you know you've hit the big time.
I realised Tiger didn't get that.
No,
Tiger didn't get not any old bloody golfer there got an interview.
Well, do you remember who I was playing with?
Ian Poulter Rafa Cabrera Bella?
Yeah.
Because I chased you down.
Yep.
You were on the 6th hole, the path. Oh
Par
no,
3,
8th
wasn't
hole.
it?
Did you play with? I thought you played with Sergio. Or was that?
Well, I
This
played a
was the
few
practice
practice
round.
rounds.
Right.
Oh yeah, did you play a practice round with Sergio?
Played with Sergio. Who else? Danny Willett.
How does that work? How do you put like?
Basically, in the clubhouse,
It's not just a tee sheet.
there's a computer. Yeah, there's a computer with a tee sheet, and you see who's on there, and then you just pop your name down with them.
What?
So I just thought I might only ever be here once, so I want to play with Sergio. Played with Poulter, Rafa Cabrera Bello, Jorge Campillo, Danny Willett.
And did you know Danny?
Yeah,
Like, do you know
I knew Danny. Yeah, well, he stuffed me in
Of course he did.
2007, didn't he?
So
I
did you
don't
want
think
for
he'll ever forget
revenge.
that.
That was the highlight. When we ever get him on the podcast, we'll ask him about that as a highlight.
See if he remembers that.
So like, I mean, but like Tiger's name's not on there, is it? Or like, does it?
No.
Does some players like almost shy away from everybody?
I think if Tiger was putting his name down, it would go from no names to 4 names, so nobody else could put the name down. But when I played with Poulter and
Rafa,
I remember being stood on the first tee because I got to like the first tee 10 minutes before the tee time, and I remember saying to Sam McCaddy at the time, "Do you reckon they'll come?" Because like I'm a nobody, and he was like, "I don't know, we'll see in a minute." And then I remember thinking, "They're not coming. It's like we're off in a minute, and they're not here." And I'm thinking, I'm gonna look like a gimp here playing on my own. So
because you can't really miss your practice time either, can you?
No. And then before you know it, they walk through, and I'm thinking, oh wow.
And what do you do?
It's
you have to introduce yourself.
Well, I met him many years ago at the Belfry in the British Masters, and he won't remember, but I remember it. But I met him on the putting green there, and when he walked up, he was like, "Ian." I was like, "Yeah, of course I know your name," like James. And it was surreal, really, playing with these people.
Like, was there much of a chat? Did you have like a money match? Was there anything
no
arranged?
money match? No, like they did practice rounds in like a very unusual way. They would hit like 3 or 4 balls off the tee, and then they'd just drop a ball in the rough, and they just did their own thing with it.
It wasn't playing golf.
No, they weren't keeping a score or anything, and they'd get up to the green, and they wouldn't even putt. They'd hit like 7, 8, 9, 10 shots round the green,
right,
and then just walk onto the next tee.
And what were you doing? Were you learning from that? Or
Yeah,
were you playing golf?
I was like hitting a few shots and basically playing a ball and then playing other balls around the green, like doing a lot of chipping and putting.
Like, did you ever feel like there was times where you wanted to hit another ball, but you were conscious about keeping them waiting, or did you just own it?
No, owned it. I've even got a video on Instagram of like me in slow motion. I'm hitting a shot. Well, I've hit a shot into the green, and then Sam said, "Oh, we'll hit one to a back right flag. Imagine it's there." And I've thrown a ball down and I'm hitting it, and Poulter's like up the fairway like 50 yards, and I've actually pinged one over his head onto the green.
And obviously, practice rounds, certainly open, packed. Like the attendance,
really big. Yeah.
Like, is that nerve wracking? Is that the biggest crowd you've ever played in front of, even in the practice rounds?
It's up there, yeah, definitely. I mean, places like Denmark on European tour like got quite a big.
Himberland, is it, with the par 3?
Yeah, they got really big like crowds, so that was probably the biggest. But at the Open, it was just with the grandstands around you, and like you speak on the first tee and it echoes around, and you just
tee is nerve wracking.
Yeah, well, I've got a great video of like all my friends in the stand, and I hit like a 4-iron, like I did at final stage, like a really low 4-iron off the first tee, and I remember being like filmed by a few people, like friends and family, and I was stood there and just remembered thinking, just keep breathing, like don't shallow breathe and hold your breath. It's just something you learn over the years. And I hit a really good tee shot off the first, and all my friends are, "Wow!"
Was this in the first day?
Yeah, going bonkers on the
that
first
tee. That must feel like an
tee.
Amazing feeling.
Yeah.
I want to rewind just a tiny bit. I feel like we've got so much to unpack.
Yeah.
So you're going through all the practice rounds, you're really soaking it all in.
Yep.
You're looking at everything. You probably, your phone's going mental. Like, you're checking things all the time. So I think I'd be a nightmare with that.
It was really quite bad for me, social media. So only because I was getting so many messages, it was making me nervous.
Not like hate messages.
No,
just like
good luck,
supportive
good
messages.
luck. Oh, awesome! I've put some money on you. And
oh God, that's
like,
not what you want to see.
It's
is
all
it?
support, but you think, like, I don't really want to be reading this. My phone was always going off, so I actually signed out of social media, and Colin and Mark like looked after it and took a few pictures of me and did the promotion whilst I was playing, but I logged out of it because it was just going crazy.
I really want to thank my sponsors again for the 5th time today.
Another selfie of us.
Yeah.
So you logged out of it, you boxed it off, and then you go back to the house, every night. And was it a really chilled vibe? Were you drinking? What was that like at the home?
My mindset changed, I would say. Like going back now and like reviewing the situation, I suppose, I started to try again. Just got back into playing days. Nothing was relaxed. I was eating the right foods. I wasn't having any beer. I wasn't having any wine. No cheese. I was drinking water. All the boring stuff in life. And I started practicing so much every day. And I'm not going to lie, I practiced my way out of form.
Really?
I went into that final stage dominating.
Yeah.
Came out of it, and I thought my game is in perfect position. Don't need to do anything here. Just trickle a bit of practice in. But I hit hundreds of balls, and by the end of the practice session, I thought I've actually just become worse there.
Like, did you have any coaching? Did Adrian come back out and give you any lessons?
No.
And in hindsight, I know it's really hard. Would you have literally, like, how can you manage that though? Because let's say after final qualifying, you go to the Open and you do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And I mean the absolute bare minimum. Exactly what's got you through regional qualifying and final qualifying.
Yep.
And let's say you performed exactly the same in the Open as you did when you practiced as hard.
Yep.
Would you have looked back on it and gone, I wish I'd tried harder?
Could potentially, maybe, but I mean the way it panned out for me is I went to the Open playing well and hitting it well, and came away from the Open practiced out of form basically.
I think the thing is with that though, it's completely. I think everybody would do the same thing, because the first one you went to is that. What's the first one called?
Fairhaven.
What's that? Regional qualifying. Yeah. You went to that almost for a day out in the sun, game of golf, no expectations. You happen to play amazing.
Trying to break 80.
Yeah.
Trying to beat Rick.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done for that.
The next round, again, bit of fun. Of course, really well, kind of with your dad on the bag, chilled out, happened to play amazing. Again, with no expectations, you then go to the Open knowing, part of the magic of the Open, if you play the 4 best rounds of your life, which we alluded to earlier, and you won it, or you come top 10, you come top 20, or whatever you might do, you get paired with Tiger, or whatever, anything, that could be your life changed forever.
And that's what I started to think.
Well, but that you can't blame, you naturally then, it's like you've got this one shot, you're going to practice your heart out, aren't you?
I just thought, like, after this, I'm going back to tour. Like,
yeah,
you never know, you know what I mean? Like, if I won 100 grand and got into the Open the year after, I can't remember where you have to finish. Is it top 14 or something like that?
I'm not
12
sure.
To get into the Open the next year. And I was starting to think like that, like positive thoughts, but putting pressure on myself again rather than thinking, try and